far beyond the bright trade routes and busy star lanes of the galaxy, where silence stretched between distant stars like an endless ocean. A research vessel from the A3 Collective drifted carefully through a quiet sector of space. The ship moved slowly, its sensors scanning for anomalies, rare minerals, or anything that could expand the knowledge of its people. The A3 were explorers first, scientists second, and warriors only when there was no other choice. They believed that understanding the universe was the greatest purpose any civilization could follow. On the main bridge, soft blue lights reflected across smooth surfaces, and the hum of advanced technology created a calm, steady rhythm. Liara sat at the navigation console, her slender hands moving carefully across floating displays. She was young compared to the rest of the crew, recently assigned to this deep space mission after graduating with high marks in astronavigation and historical research. Many saw her as intelligent but overly curious, especially when she spoke about old myths that most scholars ignored. Liara's large eyes moved across radar data, watching faint signals appear and disappear as the ship passed through dust clouds and drifting asteroid fragments. The sector they traveled through was considered safe but unremarkable. Most missions here were routine, designed only to update star maps and check for environmental changes. She sighed quietly. The calm was peaceful, but she secretly hoped for something unexpected. Exploration, to her, meant discovering things others overlooked. A faint signal flickered on her screen. At first, she assumed it was interference. She adjusted the frequency, clearing static from the display. The signal returned, stronger this time. Her posture straightened. "Unidentified energy signature detected," she said softly, mostly to herself. She expanded the scan range. The signal resolved into a shape, long, narrow, and uneven. It did not match any known A3 design or allied species blueprint. Liara felt a strange chill run through her. The structure looked rough, almost primitive compared to modern starships. Instead of flowing curves and symmetrical energy lines, the vessel appeared practical and direct, as if built for function above beauty. Her heart began to beat faster. Without meaning to, she opened a restricted historical file she had memorized long ago. Old records described a species whose technology prioritized durability and adaptability rather than elegance. A species many believed had vanished or never existed at all. Humans.
Lyra hesitated. Mentioning humans on the bridge usually resulted in laughter or polite silence.
The stories were considered ancient myths created during chaotic times in galactic history. According to legend, humans were unpredictable explorers who appeared suddenly, changed the balance of power, and disappeared just as quickly. Most historians dismissed them as exaggerated tales. Still, the shape on her screen matched too closely to ignore. She swallowed and spoke louder this time. "Captain, I am detecting an unknown vessel ahead. Low power levels, possibly drifting." Captain Rellis turned slowly from the central command seat. Her calm expression revealed little emotion. She trusted data more than assumptions. "Display it," the captain said. A holographic projection appeared in the center of the bridge. The image rotated slowly, revealing a ship scarred by damage. Sections of its hull were dark, and faint sparks flashed along one side. Murmurs spread among the crew.
"That design is unusual," one officer said. "It looks outdated," another added.
Liara hesitated before speaking again. Energy readings indicate life support is active at minimal levels.
"Any identification signal?" "None recognized by our database," Lyra replied. She paused, then added carefully. "However, its structure resembles archived designs from ancient records."
Lyra felt the weight of every gaze on her. Records referencing a species known as humans. One officer chuckled lightly. "Humans? Those are children's stories."
Liara flushed but remained calm. "I understand the skepticism."
Still, the similarity is strong. Captain Rellis raised a hand, silencing further comments. Regardless of origin, a vessel in distress falls under rescue protocol. Approach carefully. Maintain defensive readiness. The ship adjusted course. As they moved closer, the unknown vessel grew larger on the display. Damage patterns suggested it had endured extreme forces, possibly gravitational turbulence or weapon impacts. Despite this, its core structure remained intact. Liara leaned forward, fascinated. Whoever built this ship valued strength over appearance. "Receiving faint transmission," she said suddenly. Static filled the speakers. The crew listened closely as fragmented sounds emerged, broken and weak.
If anyone
Receiving need assistance. The voice sounded different from any alien language Lyra had heard before, yet the ship's translation systems slowly converted it into understandable speech. The voice was calm but tired. Liara's chest tightened. This was real. Captain Rellis studied the readings. "Single life sign confirmed?" "Yes, Captain. Only one detected. Prepare a boarding team. Prepare a boarding team. Standard rescue procedure." Liara felt a surge of excitement mixed with nervous fear. She raised her hand, slightly. "Permission to join the boarding team." "Permission to join the boarding team."
Several officers glanced at her in surprise. "You are a navigator," one said.
"Also trained in first response procedures," Liara replied quickly.
And I have studied historical technology patterns. I may recognize important systems.
Approved. Remain cautious. If this truly was a human vessel, history itself was about to change. The boarding shuttle detached from the main ship with a soft vibration. Through the window, Liara watched the damaged vessel grow closer. Scorch marks covered its surface, and parts of its outer panels appeared manually repaired, suggesting its pilot had struggled to keep it functional. As the shuttle aligned with the airlock, tension filled the small cabin. "What if it's hostile?" one security officer asked. Liara answered quietly. The distress signal sounded sincere.
"That doesn't guarantee safety," he replied.
She nodded, knowing he was right. The docking clamps locked into place with a metallic sound. A soft hiss echoed as pressure equalized. The airlock door began to open slowly. Liara held her breath. Inside, dim red emergency lights revealed a narrow corridor lined with exposed cables and rugged metal panels. The air smelled faintly of burned circuits and unfamiliar chemicals. The environment felt raw compared to A3 technology. But they stepped inside cautiously. Footsteps echoed as they moved deeper into the ship. Tools lay scattered on the floor, and sections of the wall showed signs of manual repair. Whoever the pilot was, they had fought hard to survive.
"Life sign ahead," the scanner indicated.
They entered a small control room. A figure sat slumped against a console. The being was taller than Liara expected, with a solid frame. Dark hair fell across his forehead, and his clothing looked worn but functional. A bandage wrapped around his arm, stained with dried blood. He opened his eyes slowly as they approached. For a moment, silence filled the room as two civilizations stared at each other. For the first time, the human's gaze moved across the team, alert but not aggressive. "You came?" he said quietly, relief in his voice. Liara felt her breath catch. The legends had described humans as fierce and dangerous, yet the person before her looked exhausted and grateful. "We received your distress signal," she replied gently. He nodded weakly.
"Name's Elias. Thought I was finished out here." The translation system adjusted quickly, making communication smoother.
Liara knelt slightly to examine his injury while medical officers stepped forward. "You are safe now," she said. Elias gave a faint smile. "That's good to hear."
As the crew began assisting him, Lyra looked around the control room again.
Every detail confirmed her growing belief. Humans were not myths. They were real. And meeting one might change the future of the galaxy forever. Outside the ship, distant stars continued their silent dance, unaware that history had just taken a new path.
Liara remained beside the injured human as the medical team carefully stabilized him.
The small control room felt crowded as scanners hummed softly, projecting readings across glowing screens. Elias watched them with calm curiosity, even though exhaustion showed clearly on his face. His breathing was steady, but slow, and the signs of strain from long isolation were obvious. Despite everything, he did not appear afraid. Instead, his eyes moved around the room as if studying every detail. The security officer gestured toward the exit. "We should return to the shuttle. This ship may not remain stable." Liara nodded and helped guide Elias to his feet. He moved carefully but refused extra support once he realized he could walk. That small moment caught her attention. There was determination in his posture, a quiet strength she had only read about in ancient stories. As they returned to the shuttle, Lyra noticed how Elias observed their technology with open interest. He did not show fear or confusion, only curiosity. When they crossed the airlock, he paused and glanced back at his damaged vessel.
"Will it be safe?" he asked.
"We will secure it," Lyra replied gently.
Your ship will not be abandoned. He seemed relieved by that promise. The shuttle detached and drifted back toward the E3 vessel.
Through the window, Elias stared at the larger alien ship approaching, its smooth silver shape glowing against the darkness. Liara watched his expression carefully, expecting shock or disbelief. Instead, he smiled faintly. "I wasn't alone after all," he said quietly. His words carried a strange weight. Liara wondered how long he had believed himself to be the only traveler in space. When they arrived inside the E3 ship, medical staff escorted Elias to a treatment chamber. Soft light surrounded him as scanners examined his injuries. The crew gathered outside, watching through a transparent barrier. Some stared with fascination, others with suspicion. "Hard to believe this is a human," one officer whispered. Lyra heard but said nothing. She focused on the human's steady breathing as automated systems repaired torn tissue and replaced lost fluids. Within hours, he looked stronger, though still tired. Captain Rellis entered the observation area. "Status: he will recover," the medical officer replied. "His biology is resilient." Liara felt a small sense of pride hearing that word.
"Resilient?"
The captain studied Elias through the glass.
"We must determine his intentions." Liara nodded. He requested assistance politely.
"That suggests cooperation."
"Or strategy," another officer added cautiously.
The captain turned toward Liara. "You will assist during the initial conversation. Your knowledge of historical archives may help."
Liara felt both nervous and honored. "Yes, Captain." Later, Elias sat at a table inside a calm meeting chamber.
He looked more comfortable now, wearing a simple garment provided by the ship. When Liara entered with the captain, he stood immediately in respect. "Thank you again," he said. Captain Rellis inclined her head slightly. "We value cooperation. Please sit." They began slowly asking about his journey. Elias explained that he was a pilot exploring distant regions when his ship encountered a gravitational anomaly. Systems failed, and he drifted for days while trying to repair the damage. Liara listened carefully, noticing how he spoke without exaggeration. His tone remained honest and direct.
You mentioned humans believed themselves isolated, she said gently. Elias nodded.
"For a long time, yes. Our history tells of exploring beyond our system, but contact with other civilizations faded generations ago. Many thought we were alone again." The captain exchanged a glance with Liara. That detail challenged many assumptions. "Why travel alone?" the captain asked. Elias smiled slightly.
"Curiosity."
"Humans don't stop exploring just because it's dangerous." Alara felt a quiet warmth at his answer. As the conversation continued, Elias asked questions about the A3 Collective, their culture, and their peaceful exploration missions. His curiosity felt genuine, not strategic. He listened carefully, often repeating key details to understand better. After the meeting ended, Liara walked with him through a quiet corridor. "You are very calm," she said. Many would feel overwhelmed. He laughed softly. "Trust me, I'm overwhelmed.
I just learned aliens are real, but you helped me. That matters more than fear."
They were simple, but powerful. Over the next hours, Elias visited engineering with permission, eager to examine alien technology. Engineers watched cautiously as he studied systems, occasionally asking questions that revealed surprising technical understanding. "How did you repair your ship with limited tools?" one engineer asked. Elias shrugged.
You learn to improvise. Human ships aren't perfect.
"We fix what breaks." Lyra noticed the engineers exchanging impressed looks. Later, alarms suddenly sounded across the ship. "Unidentified vessels approaching," a voice announced. Liara's heart raced as she rushed back to the bridge. The display showed multiple ships emerging from behind an asteroid cluster. Their energy signatures were aggressive, weapon systems charging rapidly. "Pirates," a security officer said. Captain Relis remained calm.
"Raise shields."
"Prepare evasive maneuvers." Lyra scanned the data quickly. "Their trajectory suggests they are targeting us specifically." Elias entered the bridge behind her, having followed the alert. He studied the display for only a moment before speaking.
"They're not just after you," he said. "They're tracking my ship."
The room fell silent.
"You believe they followed you?"
the captain asked. Elias nodded. "If they know what's inside my navigation core, they won't stop." Before more questions could be asked, enemy fire struck the shields.
"The ship shook violently. Shields holding at 70%, an officer reported."
Liara felt tension building. The pirate ships moved unpredictably, surrounding them. Elias stepped closer to the navigation console. "Your ship moves smoothly, but you're too predictable. Humans use irregular patterns to confuse attackers." The captain hesitated. Trusting an outsider during combat was risky. Liara spoke quietly but firmly. He survived alone, against unknown dangers. We should consider his advice. The captain studied Elias for a moment, then nodded. "You may assist."
Elias guided Liara through sudden sharp turns and unexpected acceleration bursts.
The A3 ship moved differently now, weaving through asteroid debris in chaotic patterns that confused enemy targeting systems. One pirate ship collided with a drifting rock, forced off course. Lyra felt excitement rising as their escape improved. "You think fast," she said. "Practice," Elias replied with a small grin. After several intense minutes, the A3 ship broke free from the pirates' formation and jumped into faster-than-light travel. Silence filled the bridge as the danger faded. The crew exchanged relieved glances. Captain Relis turned toward Elias. "Your assistance was valuable."
He nodded modestly. "Just glad I could help." Liara felt something shift among the crew.
Suspicion softened slightly, replaced by cautious respect. But new questions remained. Why were pirates searching for a single human ship? What secret did the navigation core hold? As the ship traveled through the stars, Liara realized their mission had changed completely. What began as a routine exploration had become something far more important: the rediscovery of a species once thought to be legend, and the beginning of a mystery that would pull them deeper into unknown territory. The E3 ship moved silently through hyperspace, leaving behind the danger of the pirate attack. But the tension on board did not disappear. Instead, it changed into something deeper: uncertainty. Liara sat at her navigation console, watching streams of data flow across the screen, but her thoughts kept returning to Elias and the mystery surrounding his ship. The crew had begun treating him differently after the battle. At first, many had watched him with suspicion, expecting unpredictable behavior. Now, after seeing his quick thinking and willingness to help during combat, some of that fear had turned into curiosity. Still, not everyone trusted him completely. Elias stood near a viewing window, looking out at the shifting lights of hyperspace.
Lyra approached slowly. "You handled the battle well," she said.
He shrugged lightly.
I just did what made sense.
Your ship is amazing, but sometimes chaos helps more than perfection. She smiled faintly. That sentence captured something she had begun to understand about humans. They did not rely on flawless systems. They adapted to problems as they appeared.
"The captain wants to speak with you again," she said. He nodded.
About the pirates? Yes. And about your navigation core." They walked together toward the meeting chamber. Along the way, crew members watched them quietly. Some nodded respectfully to Elias now, while others still kept a careful distance. Inside the chamber, Captain Relis waited with several senior officers. A holographic display hovered above the table, showing Elias's ship alongside complex data patterns. "Please sit," the captain said calmly. Elias took a seat, and Liara remained nearby.
"We have analyzed energy traces from the pirate vessels," the captain began.
They were tracking a unique signal linked to your ship. Explain why. Elias hesitated briefly, as if deciding how much to reveal.
Then he spoke honestly. "My ship carries an advanced navigation core," he said. "It contains star maps from regions beyond known space, areas humans explored long ago but never shared widely."
"Why keep such data hidden?" one asked. "Because exploration is dangerous," Elias replied.
Some locations contain unstable stars, ancient ruins, or unknown threats. Humans believed knowledge should be shared carefully. The idea of hidden star maps fascinated her. "The pirates wanted that information," the captain said.
Yes, Elias answered, and probably more than pirates.
"If word spreads that humans exist again, many factions will come looking." The room grew quiet. Captain Relis leaned forward slightly. "You understand that bringing you into Ethri territory may cause political complications." "I do," Elias said calmly. "And I don't want to cause trouble for your people. But I can't let that data fall into the wrong hands." He was not protecting himself. He was protecting something larger. After the meeting ended, the ship adjusted course toward a neutral trade station, a place where they could resupply and gather information safely. As the journey continued, Liara and Elias spent more time together. She showed him parts of the ship, explaining how A3 systems balanced energy efficiency with environmental harmony. In return, he described human engineering, emphasizing adaptability and redundancy. "Humans expect things to go wrong," he explained once while examining a control panel. "So we build systems that keep working even when damaged." Liara found that philosophy interesting. The A3 valued precision and stability, but humans seemed to value survival through imperfection. During quiet moments, they shared stories. Elias spoke about Earth, oceans, forests, crowded cities, and the endless curiosity that drove humans to explore. Liara described the floating cities of the A3 and their peaceful pursuit of knowledge. Their differences did not create distance. Instead, they created understanding. Days later, the ship exited hyperspace near the neutral station. The structure floated like a giant ring around a dim star, filled with ships from many civilizations. "Scanning increased traffic," Lyra reported from the bridge.
"Remain cautious,"
the captain said. As they approached docking, sensors detected several unfamiliar vessels nearby. Lyra felt a small wave of unease. Inside the station, negotiations began for supplies and information. Elias stayed close to Lyra, observing the diverse species moving through corridors. Some glanced at him curiously, perhaps sensing he was different. Suddenly, Liara noticed security alerts appearing across her display.
Multiple unauthorized scans targeting our ship.
she whispered urgently. Captain Relis's expression hardened. Prepare for possible conflict. Moments later, alarms sounded throughout the station. Unknown agents attempted to access the docking bay. They found us, Elias said quietly. The crew moved quickly. Security teams positioned themselves while engineers prepared the ship for rapid departure. As Liara guided the ship away from the docking port, enemy vessels launched from hidden locations around the station. Unlike pirates, these ships moved with precision, suggesting organized forces.
They're trying to block our escape routes, an officer reported.
Elias stepped closer to the navigation console. There's another option. He displayed coordinates leading toward an uncharted region beyond mapped space.
That area has unstable readings, Liara said. Sensors may fail.
That's exactly why we should go, Elias replied.
Advanced fleets avoid unpredictable regions. My ship's navigation core can guide us.
The captain considered the risk carefully. Trusting the human again required courage. Liara spoke gently, but firmly. He has not failed us yet.
After a moment, the captain nodded.
Set course. Enemy ships fired as the E3 vessel accelerated away. Liara followed Elias's instructions, guiding the ship through narrow gaps between drifting debris fields.
The path felt dangerous, but the unpredictable movements disrupted enemy targeting. Entering jump coordinates, she announced. The ship leaped into faster-than-light travel just as weapons fire nearly struck their engines. When normal space returned, silence filled the bridge. Sensors flickered uncertainly. Navigation systems experiencing interference, an officer said. Outside, strange stars glowed with unusual colors, and faint structures drifted in the distance. Massive shapes that looked ancient and abandoned.
Where are we?
She whispered. Elias looked at the display with recognition. Somewhere humans discovered long ago. A place few ever reached. The crew realized they had entered a region filled with secrets older than any civilization. For now, they were safe from pursuit. But Lyra felt that their journey had only become more dangerous, and far more important, than any mission she had imagined when she first saw the mysterious signal on her radar. The strange region of space felt quiet in a way that made everyone uneasy. Outside the ship's windows, stars glowed in unusual colors, some fading in and out as if reality itself moved differently here. Large shapes floated far away, dark silhouettes against shifting light, and none of the sensors gave clear readings. The A3 vessel slowed carefully as the crew tried to understand their surroundings. Liara remained at the navigation console, adjusting scans again and again, but the data stayed incomplete.
Navigation systems cannot map this region correctly, she said softly.
Signals are distorted. Captain Relis stood behind her, calm but alert. Maintain position.
We must understand where we are before moving further.
Elias watched the displays quietly. Unlike the rest of the crew, he did not appear surprised.
Instead, he seemed thoughtful, as if remembering something.
I think I know this place, he said.
Liara turned toward him. You have been here before?
Not exactly, he answered.
But humans recorded locations like this, regions with ancient structures older than any known civilization. We called them silent zones. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. One officer asked, Ancient structures? You believe these ruins were built by someone? Elias nodded slowly. Yes, but we never understood who. The ship drifted closer to one of the distant shapes. As they approached, details became clearer. Massive rings of metal floated broken and incomplete, connected by faint energy lines that still pulsed after countless years. The scale of the structure made the A3 vessel appear tiny in comparison. Liara felt a sense of awe mixed with fear.
This technology, it does not match any known design.
Captain Relis studied the readings. Proceed carefully. No sudden movements. As they moved deeper into the region, The navigation core inside Elias's ship activated automatically. A faint glow appeared on the main display, projecting unfamiliar symbols.
Elias stepped closer, surprised.
It's reacting to the environment. What does it mean? Liara asked. I don't know yet, he admitted.
But it suggests humans were meant to find this place again. The idea filled the room with quiet tension. Suddenly, sensors detected incoming signals, not from the ruins, but from outside the region.
They followed us, an officer said urgently. Enemy ships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the silent zone.
Their arrival felt almost aggressive against the peaceful stillness of the ancient structures. Captain Relis reacted immediately.
Shields up! Prepare defensive maneuvers!
Lara felt her heart race. Even here, danger had found them. Elias watched the enemy ships carefully.
They won't fire immediately.
This region interferes with weapons systems, but they will try to trap us. The captain turned to him. Suggestions?
He hesitated only briefly.
We use the ruins.
Lyra looked at him with confusion.
These structures were built for navigation,
he explained. If we activate the right pathway, we can create a jump corridor that only we can use.
Can you guide us?
She asked.
I think so,
he said quietly. Trusting him again required courage. But the captain nodded. Proceed. The ship moved carefully between massive broken rings. As they passed through, ancient energy fields flickered to life, responding to the navigation core's signals. Lines of light stretched across space like invisible pathways. Enemy ships followed cautiously, unsure of the environment.
Liara worked alongside Elias, adjusting course based on unfamiliar symbols appearing on the screen.
The process felt different from normal navigation, more instinctive, less precise. What are these structures? She asked.
Elias spoke softly. Humans believed they were created by an ancient civilization that guided early explorers.
Maybe they wanted species to work together. The idea stayed with her as they continued moving. Suddenly, enemy ships accelerated, trying to close the distance.
Energy signatures increasing, an officer warned.
They are preparing to attack despite the interference, the captain said.
Elias pointed toward a glowing pathway forming ahead.
That's our exit, but we need to trigger it fully.
How? Lyra asked. He looked at her seriously.
The navigation core contains data humans protected for generations. If we release its signal openly, the corridor will activate, but every ship nearby will detect it. The room grew silent. Sharing the data meant risking everything. Many civilizations might chase them afterward. Captain Relis watched Elias carefully. You are willing to expose such valuable information? Knowledge should not belong to one species alone. Humans survived because we learned to cooperate. Maybe it's time to trust others.
Lyara felt a deep respect for him in that moment.
The captain made her decision.
Do it! Elias activated the navigation core.
Bright light filled the bridge as ancient symbols expanded across the displays. Outside, the massive ruins responded instantly, energy flowing through broken structures like awakening giants. A corridor of shimmering light opened ahead. Enemy ships hesitated, overwhelmed by the sudden change. Full speed, the captain ordered. Liara guided the ship into the glowing pathway. Space twisted around them, creating a smooth tunnel through unstable energy fields. The journey felt both fast and calm, as if the ancient technology protected them. Behind them, enemy ships attempted to follow but lost formation when the corridor shifted unpredictably. Moments later, the E3 vessel exited the pathway into normal space far away from danger. Silence filled the bridge as everyone realized they had escaped. We are safe, Liara said softly. Relief spread among the crew. Elias sat down slowly, exhaustion visible but mixed with quiet satisfaction.
You gave away something very important, Lyra said gently.
he smiled. Maybe sharing it will stop others from fighting over it. The ship returned toward A3 territory over the next days.
During the journey, discussions began about humans, their history, and their future relationship with other species. Many crew members who once doubted now spoke with respect. When they finally arrived, representatives from the A3 collective welcomed them. News of a living human spread quickly across communication networks, changing long-held beliefs. Lyra stood beside Elias as officials greeted him not as a threat, but as a guest.
You were right, she said quietly.
Humans are not myths. He looked at her warmly, and neither are your people. Later, as she returned to her navigation console, Lyra remembered the moment she first saw the unknown signal on radar.
At that time, she had only hoped for something interesting. She had never imagined that a single discovery would reshape history. Outside the window, stars stretched endlessly, full of unknown possibilities. The universe felt larger now, but also closer, as if new connections were forming between civilizations that once feared each other. Liara smiled softly, ready for the next journey, knowing that sometimes legends are not warnings of danger, but invitations to discover hope together.